everyone, and welcome to Gamestack Podcast. This is episode 182, Standard Bones. I am Shalene, and unfortunately, Vendor was not able to be here. He is presenting his research across Canada. But we did have someone wander into the studio today to co-host the show. So everybody say hello to Rick McVick.
Hello. Just call me Dion.
Dion?
The Wanderer.
The Wanderer.
Yeah.
Took me
sorry.
way too long to pick that up.
My apologies.
I'm embarrassed on both of our behalf. How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I had the I had COVID 2 weeks ago, and then like a week I was fine, and then I got this like terrible hacky cough
Ugh.
for like the last like 3 or 4 days, and it's been awful. But I'm feeling better, and it is slowly dissipating. I've been like doing shots of NyQuil in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you're supposed to take melatonin with NyQuil, but I've been doing that.
So is this
But
a NyQuil Rick episode?
no, no. This is a Friday night. There's no NyQuil involved. It affects me way differently than it affects you, by the way. Yeah, I mean
I'm not
that is your
usually
moonshine.
surprised, Yeah.
Moonshine is my NyQuil. NyQuil is your
Oof,
moonshine.
I forgot about the moonshine episode.
It
Never
was-
again. Never
Yep.
again. Whew.
Every time I laugh, it's like I've been smoking like 30 packs of cigarettes. Ugh. Anyway, how are you?
I'm okay. It's been a really rough few weeks, if we're being perfectly honest.
Oh,
We've had disaster after disaster. I don't think we're gonna go too deeply into it, but it's been rough for Archon and I. But at least it's the weekend, and
Yes.
that's nice.
did you do anything
So-
last weekend for Memorial Day?
I spent it with Mom. She came up here for a day, and then I went and planted plants for her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we worked on her garden. It was fun.
That's good.
It was
That's good.
really nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I peed on a house.
You peed on a
Last week.
house?
I did.
I need to know more. Or do I?
Me too. I think you're older than me, but
I am older than you.
my bladder is aging like a dog. And so last weekend I go to Gettysburg, and we did a ghost tour at like 9 p.m. And I had some beverages at a pub or whatever. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all do the meeting thing, and the lady is like, before we do this ghost tour, it's like an hour and a half, so please go use the restroom. It's going to be closed by the time we get back. Just go ahead and do that. So I'm in the ghost tour lobby, and there's like a doll encased in the glass, and it's like, this is a haunted doll. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, really? Now, like, touch the case to see if it does anything. Nothing. And then there's like a telephone, like some other little
Did you
bric-a-brac
pee on a
stuff.
haunted house?
No. Well, maybe. And so I go to the bathroom, try to get everything out, and come back out, and we start the tour. And we're learning about Gettysburg and some buildings that might be haunted, because it was a tour, not a hunt. Different. You're just walking and looking at haunted buildings rather than like going in the haunted buildings. And
What's
so
the fun of that if you don't experience the haunting?
I
Like-
know. I want to do a ghost hunt sometime in Gettysburg. That'd be fun. But so I don't know if you know this little factoid about Gettysburg, but the only civilian to actually die there was a lady named Jenny Wade, and she was standing in her sister's house, and she's like, "I'm baking bread for all the soldiers that are out there,
Okay.
and I'm gonna make some bread." And then at that point, a bullet went through the door and into her heart, and she
Oof.
went thunk right on the ground.
That's horrible.
And as she's telling us about this, we were standing in front of her childhood home, and they're like, sometimes when your ghost hunters have been in this home, and they say, "Hey, is this Jenny?" And then like things will happen, and they're like, "Are you?" And then they'll like record
Like the yeast just falls off the counter.
yeah, and then like apparently they do these like ultrasonic recordings and then play it back. I don't know, it's silliness, but basically they've recorded a lady saying, "I'm with James." James was her husband to be, who also died in the Civil War. Anyway, I leaned over to Sarah. I was like, "I want to be so bad." And so as the tour started to wander down the street, I like bebop back behind this alleyway, and I peed on Jenny Wade's house.
You peed on a haunted house.
I think it was her house. It was behind it. I was kind of like trying to. I felt so bad. I kept apologizing. I was like, "I'm so sorry, house. I'm so sorry."
Did you apologize to Jenny?
Yeah. But it's like I
I
had
feel like
gone a
peeing on a
half an hour
haunted
before.
house is how you start like the dumbest scary movie of all time. Just
It was so ridiculous, and I'm just like, and it was like it was the kind of like it hurt so bad. I had to pee so bad, and I just peed an hour like a half an hour ago. I'm like, what is wrong with me? This is so
yeah,
stupid.
yeah.
But
You're an
I
old
ended up
man
having
now.
like I ended up like sneaking back into the place to the group, and they only Sarah noticed I was gone. But
I
it
feel
was
like
funny.
there's a joke about crossing the streams in there somewhere.
Yeah, crossing the stream between living and the dead. I do want to do a ghost hunt though. In
So
Gettysburg, it'd
like,
be so
have
much
you
fun.
noticed anything spooky happening after going on this ghost tour and peeing on a haunted house? Because I feel
Uh,
like that's how you get a spirit attachment.
Something outside last night. It's been like really chilly and kind of cool up here, so we've had the windows open. Something outside last night was not having a good night. It was squealing up a storm,
Did it
as it
pee on your
I
house?
no, but I think it died somewhere out back.
Ooh.
Um, it was just not pleasant to listen to because it'd be squeaking really like bad, not pleasury squeaks. And and then it would stop and I'm like, finally, and then it would start again. I'm like, whatever
Jeez.
is dying, just die.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
That's terrible. Well, good to have you back, Rick.
it's
That's
good to be back.
yeah. It's been a while since we've had
Too long.
a story about bodily fluids. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Sorry I missed last the that Fallout Show episode. Yeah.
yeah, that was too bad. But I mean, work
Yeah,
happens. You
I
were
know.
busy with work, so
Dave is a wonderful human being, and I missed the conversation of letting him talk.
yeah, we'll have him back on for sure. And we need to have him on a game stack too one of these days. The show is brought to you by Oak and Crow Coffee. You can visit oakandcrow.com to purchase a bag of We Just Love coffee, and $2 from every purchase goes to the Children's Miracle Network. And Rick was just mentioning last week, the last episode of that Fallout show featuring Dave Chaffins. Definitely go check that out. If you hadn't heard, we have revived that Fallout show. It is now about that other Fallout show instead of a specific video game. Limited run. We're doing an episode for each episode of the show. It's been a good time. And of course, oh gosh, Archon just brought me this giant jalapeno popper. They smelled so
Oh,
good. He was making them. So I may have to eat this on air. It's
holy
obscene.
crap, that's
Yeah,
huge.
it's enormous.
What kind of jalapenos to have down there? Jeez.
Tell your friends about the show. Join our Discord. Today we've got news and some other stuff. And we are going to start out, as always, with the news. Do I have a news bumper?
You do.
I do. This just in. It's new releases week, and I'm really excited, Rick, that you were able to be here for new releases week.
Me too.
Yeah, take it away.
Okay, so June 2024. Let me read off all the games I'm not going to play. All right. On June 4th, Destiny 2, The Final Shape coming out for PC, PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. That I'm actually going to probably play. By the way, Destiny 2, The Final Shape is when it wraps up the entire story that they've been leading up to since the
Really?
begin. Yeah, they've been pushing, like, it
No kidding. They're going to
culminates.
end it.
Yes, I mean, the game doesn't stop. They're starting like a new saga eventually, but um the Traveler, like why the Traveler's there, what it is, they figured out
Wow.
what it's running from, and this all now is a big old crescendo. And then also on the 4th, if you don't feel like playing Destiny, you can play Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game. Outer
Plainly, the
Space.
choice is made.
Yeah, you can only play that though if you have PC, PlayStation 5, and an Xbox Series X or S. Songs of Silence Early Access comes to PC on June 4th. Also, Star Wars: Headhunters, Switch, iOS, and Android. The Smurfs Dash Village Party comes to PC, Switch,
Mm.
PlayStation 4, all the platforms on June 6th, as well as Assassin's Creed Mirage comes to iOS. I wonder what is that one? Is that
Assassin's
just a
Creed Mirage is a full-on Assassin's Creed game. It came out last fall. It's in
Oh,
the style of the older Assassin's Creed games. Hey, could I get a knife? Um, can I get a knife?
gotcha.
Susan? Um,
I tried playing like one of the newer ones and I couldn't get
yeah, the
into it.
new ones are like huge open world situations,
Hmm.
and the combat is kind of Souls style, but not as hard. Um,
It felt very like cartoony, the combat
yeah,
did.
they're very, very different, but this one is a throwback to the older ones,
Mm,
more in the traditional Assassin's Creed style. So,
gotcha. Yeah, so that comes out on June 6th. Rocket Knight Adventures: Resparked. PC, PlayStation 5, 4, and Switch. That's on June 11th. V Rising on PlayStation 5 on June 11th. I've been playing that actually on PC a little bit here and there.
what kind of game is that?
It's like a top-down Diablo-esque type situation. You're a vampire, humans rule, and you're trying to take back the world, the day and the night from the humans. And it actually, I'll talk about it a little bit. I think they paced the progression pretty well. Um, June 13th, you get Ticketmaster VR, Quest 3 and Quest 2 and PC. June 4th,
Ticketmaster?
oh no,
Ticketmaster?
you can price gouge in VR now. Hmm.
You gotta try and get those
All the
Taylor
little
Swift
fine print.
tickets. Rick is dying of a
Oh
cough.
my gosh, I hate it. All right. So, Monster Hunter Stories on June 14th comes to PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC, and then Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin on PlayStation 4 for June 14th. Man, you get the sequel on the same day. It's convenience. Um, ooh, we have a first-time chat promoter in the
Yeah,
channel.
can somebody mod them? I can't figure out how to do it.
Look at this. Look at this. We're gonna go ahead and hammer. All right.
Excellent work.
Okay. Where are we? Ah, Blood. Nope. Nope. Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance. Or is it 5? Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. That comes out on all platforms, actually, on June 14th. Vampire Therapist.
I have to look this up.
I was gonna say
Okay.
if you are tired of killing all of the humans in V Rising, you can talk to a therapist and vampire therapist. Coming to the PC on June
Okay, I
17th.
think this is going to be a Shalene game. Guide
Ah,
vampires through centuries of emotional baggage, decades of delusions, and the odd bout of self loathing with real cognitive behavioral therapy concepts, and become a vampire therapist. Even vampires need a shoulder to cry on when a neck bite just won't do.
my
I
goodness.
need that game. I need that game in my life.
Okay. I just I c- games are getting so wet. Like I can't. Like it just I never thought in any of the years of gaming where I'm like, I need a therapist sim. Like not to have a therapist talk to me, but to be the therapist to specifically vampires. It is
Specifically to
such
vampires,
it is
yeah.
such a
That's a
strange
niche that's a niche desire for
it's
sure. But
super
I am
niche.
pretty sure I am the target audience for this game.
And in fact, keeping on the theme, Blood or Blood,
Blood.
depending, I guess, comes out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on June 18th. Also on June 18th, Still Wakes the Deep. PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Dice Folk comes out on June 20th to the Switch. Five Nights at Freddy's, Help Wanted 2 is coming to PSVR on June 20th. I'll bet you Five Nights at Freddy's is pretty freaky in VR. I'll bet you that's a pretty twisty VR game to play. Another game that I'll be playing in June. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree. All platforms that Elden Ring is on. That comes out on June 21st. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble comes out on the Switch, if you couldn't have guessed by that name, on June 25th. Until Then comes out on PlayStation 5 and PC on June 25th. On the 27th, you get 3 games. Luigi's Mansion 2 HD for the Switch, Neo Sprint, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC on June 27th, and Tika? Just Tishia? Takia?
Chia.
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 Yeah. Oh, that's what we need, a chia pet simulator. You
Chia
watch
Pet
it grow,
Simulator. Grow in
and
real time.
you
You
can
have
like
to
cut it.
remember to water it. You get
That
to
comes on the
pick the
27th as
different
well.
pots.
Yeah. Ugh. Did you ever have a chia pet
I
or
don't
chia
think
pot?
I ever did have a chia pet, but my godmother had a chia pet, and it was funny.
I saw those commercials. It was like one of those things like you just see the commercials all the time, and I didn't know anyone that
Yeah, they
had
were
one.
everywhere. And my
The commercials
godmother
work.
had one that was traced like that was shaped like a troll. You know the troll dolls?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she collected those troll dolls, which was a
So
little
she had
bit
a
weird.
chia pet. Why? A lot of people collected those troll dolls. I
She
ask
had
you as you
so
should.
many of them.
Yeah. I mean, they were 90s. It was
She
90s
had enough
fashion.
of them that it was weird.
Okay. If anybody ever asks, why does it seem like, ADHD and stuff seems to be more prevalent these days, you just point to the stuff that our grandparents collected. Like my grandmother had hundreds of glass bird figurines.
Glass bird figurines, huh?
Yeah, just hundreds of them. Hundreds of them. It's fine. You know how many nails my grandpa collected in jars over the years? Just stuffed random places.
My
Yeah.
grandma had a bunch of those collector's plates.
I mean,
She genuinely believed that they were going to increase in value.
yeah. Why does everybody need a fidget spinner? Well, your stim was collecting plates, Grandma. But yeah. Where was I? Oh, June 28th. Last, only one. Spy X Anya, Operation Memories. PlayStation 5, 4, and the Switch. There are some free games as well if you don't feel like paying for anything or paying for any of the subscriptions. Oh, is there a list? There is a list. Free games for PlayStation Plus VR, June 2024. Coming on June 6th, you get Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders, Before Your Eyes, and The Walking Dead: Saints ampersand Sinners dash chapters 1 ampersand 2. That's a lot. PlayStation Premium, PlayStation 2. Oh, that's right. They're reissuing those. PlayStation 2 games coming for PlayStation Plus on June 11th is Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Sorry. Let's see here. Extra and premium games coming soon is Dredge for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. That's available in May,
Dredge
actually.
looks
That's
pretty
already
cool.
out. Lego Marvel Superheroes 2 for PlayStation 4, which is available today. Cricket 24 for PlayStation 4 and 5 is available June 5th. And Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas Dash, the definitive edition for 4 and 5, available June 7th. That's a free one if you haven't played that. Now's a good time. Good. It was such a good game that was. Your Twitch gaming games. Well, are these like, can you just get these for free, I guess?
If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber.
Oh, okay. Star Wars: Battlefront 2, the classic version, is available on GOG, Epic, and Amazon Games app June 6th. The Weird West Definitive Edition and Genesis Noir on all three of those platforms on the
Genesis
same
Noir
day.
looks really cool. That's
You
one of
guys
those
what?
games I've been meaning to play for ages.
I was watching someone play the Battlefront 2 again, and that is it's interesting to watch shooters from back then. That's for sure. On June 13th, also on those same platforms, you get Everdream Valley, Myth Force, Blast Brigade versus the Evil Legion of Dr. Creed, and Projection: First Light. So those are your
Is
Twitch.
Dr. Creed related to Apollo Creed?
See, I was going with Creed the band.
I mean, it could be completely connected, but I just went with Apollo Creed because, I mean, obviously.
I don't even know what Apollo Creed is.
He was the antagonist from the first Rocky.
Oh. Oh, okay. See, the only Rocky antagonist I remember was the giant Dolph
Dolph
Lundgren guy.
Lundgren. If
Yeah,
he
yeah.
dies,
It
he
would break
dies.
you. Yeah. That's the because wasn't Apollo Creed then friends with Stone's character? I don't know.
Yes. Later on, he came back to train Rocky for his big comeback.
Can I tell you I've never seen a Rocky movie?
Are you kidding me?
And I just 2 weeks ago watched all of the Indiana Jones movies for the first time.
Okay.
Now, because I know a lot of you folks are Indiana Jones fans, the only reason Kingdom of the Crystal Skull or whatever it was is not the worst Indiana Jones movie is because Temple of Doom exists and the movie was great except for whatever that blonde screaming thing was. Dude, the
I hated Willie
whole
so much.
movie that ruined the whole thing for me.
In the Lego Indiana Jones
Mm,
game,
mm.
Willie's special power is to shatter glass with her screech.
That's so apt. I
Yeah.
mean, it was the worst. I will say the newest one. I watched the very, very newest one too. I forget, like the Dial of, I don't know, something.
Yeah, the old Indiana Jones movie. The He's very
What?
old.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It was really good. It was very good. Oh, Epic Games. That's the last thing we got to do. So, waiting for my internet to load things.
It's Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Oh, nobody,
And it's
nobody cares.
just this is based on a leak from a leaker that is very accurate. So,
Ooh.
like this isn't official information, but you can pretty much count on it. It's gonna be
Oh,
Marvel's
there you go.
Midnight Suns. So, thank
That
you,
is
Rick.
all the games that are coming out in June and free games.
Brilliant, brilliant.
All right. What else is in the news?
Valve has confirmed that your Steam account dies with you. Your games will not be able to be transferred to anyone else after you die. Your Steam games go to the grave with you. According to this TechSpot article by Kishalaya Kundu, and
Nice.
this came from Steam support staff earlier this month when Reset Era former user Delete12345 asked Steam support if he can put his Steam library in his will. And the staffer replied that Steam accounts and games are non-transferable and users cannot provide someone else with access to the account or merge its contents with another account. I regret to inform you that your Steam account cannot be transferred via a will. And the gaming community has expressed its collective frustration at the news, with many wondering if there are any workarounds that will allow their loved ones to play their games once they pass on. Others, however, have reacted to the news with nonchalance, saying that the policy can be bypassed by simply giving another user the login credentials. The inheritor can then
Yeah.
change the payment card and other details without notifying Steam about the change in account ownership. While this does look like a plausible way to bypass that policy, some users have pointed out that this could be a short-term solution. An account being in use past the length of a person's average lifespan could trigger investigations by Steam. Once they determine that the original user is dead or no longer in charge of the account, it could be terminated, as per the company's terms and conditions. So it remains to be seen if Steam will change its policy on this matter in the future. But according to the current terms, there's no official way to do this. And I find this really interesting. It goes along with the conversations that we've been having for quite a while now on game ownership and the concept of game ownership when it comes to digital versus physical games. And this is really it's just another way that illustrates that you don't really own your digital games. You don't really own your digital libraries. And we have to make the decision as consumers, is that a deal breaker for us? Do we want to?
Yeah.
And at this point, with PC gaming at least, I feel like there's no going back. That
No.
we're not going to go back to a place where we're using physical games that could be passed on when you
No,
pass on.
And I don't even really mind this so much, like the fact that you're buying a license to use the game rather than buying the game as a copy. That's fine. The problem is the marketing behind it, right? It wasn't very clear going from cartridge to download what exactly was changing with that. Sure, it was in the EULA and your terms of agreements and blah, 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 blah. But let's face it that nobody ever reads those. They know that. We know that. So they put that in there, and then it just wasn't presented to us that way. And I feel like if maybe the marketing was a bit more friendlier towards the fact that you're purchasing the right to use the software as a licensing fee,
Right.
I feel like maybe we would have, sure, it would have been a little bit of a transition, but I'm pretty certain we all would have been a little bit more forgiving than just recently all of a sudden going, where did all my DLC go now that the servers are offline? Because there's a lot of software that we pay licensing fees for or seat fees. We don't pay for the copy of the software, we pay for the right to use it, and everyone's been fine with that. And so I feel like games need to kind of step up the communication and the transparency there, especially now that it's a lot more public. And I genuinely think that honestly, maybe the workaround is exactly what Microsoft is doing, is allowing you to subscribe to a thing where you get the games for free.
Right.
That's kind of a
Interesting.
workaround. Like you're downloading the game, but you technically don't own it. And you know that
And you
because it's
know
a
it
subscription.
because you're,
Yeah,
yeah, it's like Netflix.
exactly. You don't own any of those
Interesting.
movies, but you get to watch it. So, because it's weird if you think about it, the games that you buy in your head, you feel like you own them, but the games that you download on Xbox Game Pass,
You know
I
you
don't think we have
don't.
that same connection
Yeah.
to. It's a very interesting psychological thing that they have going on there, and I think it's all about the presentation of how they're, giving you an option to play their game.
Now,
So,
Alex in the chat brings up a point that I feel like is a really good point. She says, I think digital games should be cheaper because you don't own them.
you know, I disagree with that though, because knowing what goes into making these games, game prices by and large haven't changed since the 2000s. I mean, if you go back and look at like GoldenEye was $70,
Yeah, true. True.
and with inflation,
Inflation has, yeah, and
and new
game
games are
prices
still
have
70
not
bucks.
really gone up. But at the same time, I do think that your digital game should cost less because you're not getting a physical product. It's less the case on PC because that's really the only way to get a PC game now. You're not really
Sure.
getting a physical, but because you're getting a disc with and a
Sure.
case and sometimes some inserts with your physical Xbox game, for example,
Hmm.
it makes sense that the cost of that should increase the price. It should cost more than the digital version. And just like a physical book, a physical book that you hold in your hands costs about double what a Kindle book costs.
Sure.
Because you don't have those costs associated with production.
I would argue that since game prices by and large haven't changed, the cost for the physical production has actually left the price. Because if the games haven't gone up in price.
Right.
So if it's still 70 bucks, but the same
You
thing
feel
that you
like
got
companies are
physically back
eating
then,
that?
I feel like the amount of money that they're spending extra on the physical copies is being more than made up for by the sale of digital copies. So therefore, it's not even like they're not even adding you're getting it for free almost because the game price hasn't gone up. Um, if like games were like $110 for the physical copy and 110 on download, then yeah, I could see an argument for like, wait a minute now. Let's make
And
the
then, speaking of games that cost $110, can we talk about collector's editions that come with a download code?
that is hilarious.
Can we talk about how much that makes me want to flip a table? I just, oh, I hate it.
Agreed.
I hate
I
it.
mean, agreed.
Sometimes you get a steel book with the collector's edition, but it doesn't come with a disc. It comes with a code. So you have an empty box on your game shelf. Why? Why
Yeah.
would you do this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think no, I agree. It is silly. Um, but the other thing I wanted to say too is like when it comes to printing a book, I'll bet you the costs are a lot
I
larger
think you are correct.
for
Yeah.
print because they're. I mean, this is what like press mold plastic for a CD case, and then it's a CD. Like how cheap are those things these days? So I, you know, I kind of go back and forth on this a lot, where I don't really know what the answer is. I mean, obviously it's a problem where games are the same price as they were, and then you have companies selling billions of copies like Grand Theft Auto, and we worry about their wages or their hours.
Right.
I really don't know what the answer is to all this, but I do personally not have much of an issue paying full asking price for
Right.
a game, especially indie. Um, and I had and it really wasn't too long ago till we were having this discussion at work, and I went back and looked at old Toys R Us ads for the Nintendo 64 days, And I
Yeah.
couldn't believe, because in my head I was like, oh, they're like 50 bucks, 50, 60 bucks. And there was like Nintendo 64 games in there for like $70, $65, and it
Games
was
did
just
not
like
have as uniform of pricing back in the
they
day as they do
didn't.
now.
They didn't. And I thought they were cheaper. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, my Lanta. Like, what is it? Like, 1997 money and $70, and we're asking our
Mm-hmm.
parents to spend this on us? Like, no
Right.
wonder they were like, no. So,
You get one for your birthday and you get one for Christmas. That's
yeah.
it.
So, actually, I'm kind of curious now. Uh,
Well,
I want to see what it.
while you do
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
research, I am going to just mention that God of Radio in the chat also raises a really good point. He says even getting physical copies of games was never a guarantee of being able to pass things on. I'm looking
True.
right now at a shelf full of 3.5 and 5.25 discs that I bought years ago. They look cool, but good luck playing them today.
Absolutely, yeah. The floppy is obsolete.
Yeah.
Uh, just as a side note, games have gotten cheaper. The inflation calculator from
Mm-hmm.
1997, which I believe is when GoldenEye was released, and I think it was released for $70. Don't hold me to that, but $70 in 1997's money is $132.88 today.
Yeah, I think that, yeah. Yeah, you raise a good
That's
point.
could you? I can't
That's
imagine if
so
my
much
kid came to
money.
me and was like, "Can you buy me a $130 video game?"
That is so much
No.
money.
So, but it
Mm-hmm.
will be like that in 30, 40 years from now, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, let's talk about Assassin's Creed. So they've announced Assassin's Creed Shadows, and I'm looking at a PC Gamer article by Morgan Park. Assassin's Creed Shadows, actually, it looks pretty cool. It's going to be coming out on November the 15th, and you get to play as two different protagonists. One of them is Yasuke, who is the first real character from history who is a playable character in an Assassin's Creed game. You've had historical figures as NPCs, but never one as an actual playable character. And it will require an internet connection to install the game, but not to play it. So there is that. And this looks a bit more like one of the more traditional Assassin's Creed games than the newer type Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla, etc.
Hmm.
And Assassin's Creed Shadows is set in feudal Japan, and you will play as both a shinobi and also as a samurai. So the two
Uh,
protagonists, Neo, I'm probably mispronounced that, and I apologize. She's the shinobi, and she is armed with a hidden blade. And Yasuke does not have a hidden blade. He has a heavier fighting style, and is a samurai. And most missions can be tackled as either character. Some of them are character specific. So basically, you get to decide if you want to go in as a combat, character, or if you want to play it as a stealth game. And I find that really, really interesting. I
yeah.
I definitely find that very, very appealing. And the two characters play very differently. Um, it's like Neo is not strong in an open fight. She's not as successful if you're just in an open fight. She's really only successful from the shadows, and I love that. I love that, the difference in the characters. I think it's very, very cool. What are your thoughts?
No, I think this is great news. I've been seeing a lot of rumbling on the
Mm-hmm.
whole Yasuke thing, back and forth, but it does
Yeah,
sound like on
people
the
are
whole,
mad, and I think that's dumb.
it is silly.
If like
But
they just I we don't
it's
usually we try to keep politics out of our show, but
oh
it's
sure.
just it's super dumb that people are acting like the issue is that the protagonist is not Japanese when there's literally a Japanese protagonist in the game.
Hmm.
That's not your issue. That's
Yeah.
let's not pretend.
Tell me you don't know anything about the game without telling me you don't know anything about the
Yeah.
game. Um, I think it's good. I just hope this doesn't suffer from the same thing that a lot of games are like, you have the choice between stealth or open combat. But they largely push you towards the stealth and reward you wholeheartedly
Right.
for the stealth, but like not reward you for the open combat.
Right.
I hope that they balance that a little bit better than some games do. That's all.
That's a
But
very
other than
good
that,
point.
I think it sounds very promising. It's honestly, out of all the Assassin's Creeds that have come through, it's the one that's kind of sparked my interest the most.
I feel like Japan is, and particularly feudal Japan, is a setting that Assassin's Creed fans have wanted for a very, very
It,
long
it
time.
makes sense. A lot of sword play, a
Yes,
lot of sneaking going on, a lot of sword play. Makes sense. And then
it does.
you have like Ghost of Tsushima and I can't think of the other one, but the two games that came out that were set in that I think
Ghost of
era.
Tsushima looks so good.
Yeah.
I need to play that. It looks
What was
so
the other
good.
one that was FromSoft?
FromSoft, was it Neo?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, but those two games that came out and they were both samurai-esque. It's interesting that this game's kind of running on the heels of that.
No, Neo was Team Ninja.
Yeah, I
Sekiro.
forget what.
You're thinking of
Yeah,
Sekiro.
yeah. Yep, that's it. So, both games I haven't played. I should.
Yes, we
I
need
don't
to
know
play more
why.
games. Isn't it awful?
Don't have
Like,
time.
we're older now and we have grown up jobs and disposable income to use to purchase video games, and absolutely no time to play video games.
You can call my job anything, but a grown-up job is not one of them. Is not one of them. I do not have a grown-up job.
Okay, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. You do have. Well, I don't know.
We're
You
children.
you have a grown up job. You just don't have grown up coworkers.
It's not even. It's no, because even the requests are silly. It's like we're all children, and like even people who think they're all that in a bag of chips are like their requests are like children requests. Like it's silly, but no, it's we are not. No, it is not a grown up job.
That's funny.
You have a grown up job. You work for people who make decisions that will affect other people's lives.
My job is almost unfortunately grown up. Like it's depressingly grown up. But anyway, I
Yeah.
have
Anyway,
no idea how to transition into this next news article.
what are we in?
According to this IGN article by Kat Bailey, 2K Games will reveal a sequel to one of its biggest and most beloved franchises at Summer Game Fest.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Joseph
What is?
Chow is speculating that it's Borderlands 4, and he wonders if it will be as bad story-wise as Borderlands 3. I never
Oof.
played through all of Borderlands 3, so I've never
It
played
was.
through all of a Borderlands game. They're not for me.
They're fun, but they're forgettable.
Yeah.
The characters aren't, but the storylines are.
Oh,
I
that's a
can't tell you
lie.
what
I
happened.
played through the whole of Tales from the Borderlands, which I guess is technically
That's
not a
not
Borderlands
even-
game, but it is set in the Borderlands world. So.
Yeah.
I suspect that it's going to be BioShock.
Really?
I do, yeah. I
Huh.
do. I suspect it's going to be BioShock.
I have nothing.
I just
Nothing.
have a strong feeling that they're going to be like, "Hey, remember BioShock? Here's something that's has the name BioShock in it. That's
But it's
been
nothing
designed
like-
to capitalize on the upcoming Netflix BioShock situation."
Could you imagine if it was a remaster of BioShock 2? Because technically it is a sequel.
That would be funny. But I think you've forgotten who you're talking to, because BioShock 2 is actually one of my favorite BioShocks.
That
So-
you were like the only person I've ever known who's
Yes!
like BioShock 2 is the greatest.
I loved BioShock 2. And
Hey. Every game is someone's favorite game.
it's so funny because everybody just talked about how good the Minerva's Den DLC was for BioShock 2.
Yeah.
But it played the same as the rest of the whole game. It just
I'm
Anyway.
pretty certain. Okay, I beat BioShock 1 and I beat BioShock Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I think we discussed about this too, is that I should have liked those games. But I just
You didn't?
I did. They were fine. They weren't, it wasn't anything
Yeah.
special.
I feel like you would have dug Infinite more than the original BioShock.
I did. I
Yeah.
definitely did dig Infinite more, but I think it's because of the cartoony aspect of it. I think I just
That makes sense.
couldn't
That
get
makes
past it.
sense. We've got a lot of comments in chat from people who are talking about how they're not super keen on Bioshock. Sulior says he'd love a new Bioshock.
Mm.
But Alex says she's never finished a Bioshock. Joshy says he's played 5 hours of Bioshock and he just couldn't. And Vodka Knockers says same. And I even got the game for free. So,
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe
yeah,
the
it's
superpower
not for
thing too.
everybody. It's
Yeah,
not
just
for everybody. I loved Bioshock so much that I tended to play games
mhm.
that where I could wield like a power in one hand and a gun in the other. That
Yeah.
was that became my thing for a few years. I sought out games that had that play style because I liked it so much.
I mean, it does play well with a one-handed gun and a power. I mean, it does make sense as a mechanic. And BioShock did do it well. I'm not saying they didn't. They definitely did. The aesthetic of them is great, but
Yeah.
I think it was a bit of the superpower cartooniness that I couldn't get into. I
Now,
loved I was gonna say I loved the anti-nationalist aesthetic
oh,
of Infinite.
absolutely.
I think it was a very good reflection on, I think it was a good social commentary, but I think it was just the gameplay that I was like, meh.
Yeah. Sound Freak in chat says indie games have become better than AAA titles. And I
He's
feel
not
like this is
wrong.
probably a conversation that you've had with him before.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, and we've talked about it, you and I.
and I really think that that becomes more and more true as we move on. Because any project that has the money invested in it for AAA, nobody's willing to risk anymore. Nobody's willing to risk for anything but a sequel to something that's
Hmm.
already been successful or a remake of something that's beloved. And the only innovation that we're seeing is in the indie scene.
Think
And
of it this way, right? We should be very excited for the gaming time that we're in
mm-hmm.
because we're in that 1930s, 1940s era, right? Where like it's all the same chord progression of music, right? Every artist covers every other song. They change the lyrics slightly, like, Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog came from Ain't Nothing But a Bear Cat, all that sort of thing. We're in that era where
Right.
Call of Duty 3 is the same as Call of Duty 2. Each, game is reskinned and
The
like the only
first
good
one or the
stuff is
second one?
any of them. The and then like the only good ones are the remakes, right? The good covers of the original songs.
Mm-hmm.
But then along came like some artist and blew things out of the water and then changed the landscape as we know until it got terrible again. So due, we're like gearing up for whatever comes and revolutionizes the gaming industry coming up. I mean, we're just in that dumb lull period right now. So we should be excited for like the next 4 years, you know?
Something that I think is really bad about the current time in gaming is that I really think that we've lost the double A sector of games. It's either a triple A big production or it's an indie game. There's nothing in between anymore. And I
Well,
really enjoyed a lot of games that were in that in between space in the past, and I miss them.
Well, it's because a lot of those double A's got gobbled up by triple A's. I mean, Ninja Theory is still technically, I would say, a double A, but it's published by a
Yeah.
triple A. So I think they just get lost in the mix. Which,
Have you
by
played
the
the new
way,
Hellblade yet?
I was just gonna say, did you realize the new Hellblade came out? Because
I know, right? It had no marketing.
no, it didn't.
What are they doing with the Microsoft money? It's plainly not selling this game. I
I
just
don't know. I'm gonna try it though because it does say the gameplay is only like 6 hours long, so that's kind of true to the original. So
yeah, I loved the first one so
it's good,
much. I loved
very
it
good.
so much. And the biggest complaint that I'm seeing in the Hellblade 2 reviews is like, "Oh, this is more of the same." And that makes me feel like, "Yes!
Yeah,
Yes, that's
exactly.
what I want.
It's the thing that
More of
works.
that."
What would you like? A leveling tree? Nobody wants that for this game.
No, the whole point, the whole thing that made this good was the simplicity. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're coming up very swiftly, coming up on the. Oh shoot! I've clicked on the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I'm
Did
doing
you?
my best here, you guys.
It's okay.
So we're coming up very swiftly onto not E3 season. Uh, um, you know what? I'm just going to also mention, this is kind of out of left field, but I just want to pour one out for all of the gaming news sites that got purchased by IGN over the last week or two. It's really a shame for gaming news that they're consolidating like this. I hate to see that. And I bring it up because Joseph Tao stated that he's still trying to figure out where to go for news now after IGN has acquired all of these different websites where we were getting our news previously. So
Who's IGN?
That is a shame. It is a shame.
It really is.
Yeah. But anyway, there are many video game showcases coming up during Not E3 for summer of 2024. And let's talk about those. We've got... Oh gosh, there are so many ads on this. Scroll. Okay. Still scrolling. I'm so sorry, I'm trying.
Oh my gosh. I was going to make a joke that IGN became Fox. Okay.
Did they? Are they owned by
They
Fox?
are owned by so IGN is owned by the News Corporation, which is owned by the Murdoch family, which one of the subsidiaries is Fox Entertainment Group.
Oof.
And Fox
Oof.
News. So literally IGN became Fox.
Yikes.
Well.
Well,
that sucks.
Sony had a state of play on May 30th. We'll be talking about that shortly. On Thursday, June the 6th, there will be Guerrilla Collective at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And Friday, June the 7th, we will have the Accessibility Summer Showcase starting at 11 Eastern Time. That will feature Whitethorn Games, Playtonic, Fiction Factory Games, among other studios. And Summer Game Fest, the main showcase, will follow later that day at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. There will be many, many different creators presenting then. The Day of the Devs will happen immediately after Summer Game Fest Live, hosted by Double Fine and I Am 8-Bit, and that will be largely a big indie event. So, the Devolver Direct will wrap the day up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and these are always just unhinged and silly and ridiculous, and I really enjoy watching the Devolver Direct every year. Nice. Saturday, June the 8th, there will be a Future of Play Direct at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and Wholesome Direct at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Wholesome Direct is always full of lots of Shalene games, the kind of thing, you know, cute, adorable, gentle things, yes. Yeah. And the Latin America Games Showcase at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Women-led Games Summer Games Fest at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Future Games Show at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And that one's actually going to be hosted by Arthur Morgan, the voice actor Roger Clark.
Nice.
Yeah. Sunday, June 9th is going to be the Xbox Games Showcase, which now includes the
I'm
Bethesda
just looking
Showcase.
forward to that one.
Yes, this is the big one for us.
That's all I care about. That's all I care about.
And following that will be a Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct. And the PC Gaming Show rounds out that day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Monday, June the 10th, we've got a Ubisoft Forward, and I believe that is the final thing. So, lots of things. It feels very unorganized.
I just care about the 9th. That's all I care about.
That's
I just want to see what Bethesda's
cooking
for
us. Yeah, always the biggest thing for us.
Because they gotta be cooking up something good. At least I hope so. I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say at least Bethesda better be cooking up something good for Starfield and some Fallout stuff. They've got to show something for Fallout because we're all like,
I don't think they will.
Chomping. What?
I don't think they will.
No. You know how good they are at the hype train, and
I
they
think
gotta
we are
ride the hype train.
I think we are going to be waiting for like Fallout 5 until.
That's fine, but they're gonna at least show us a teaser trailer like they did with Elder Scrolls 6 20 years ago.
And they'll be like, "Hey, you remember the Elder Scrolls series? We're gonna make another one of those in a decade or so." Woo!
Yeah, that's what they literally did a decade or so ago. When was that trailer released, or the teaser trailer?
It wasn't a trailer. It was barely a logo. I'm so angry. I'm
When
bitter.
was that
I'm so
done?
bitter.
2018. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
8 years ago.
I
No,
think I was at that
6.
showcase. I was at that was the last one that I got to go to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Before COVID killed everything.
Yeah. Boo.
Well, we did, as I said, get the PlayStation State of Play last night, and many new things were introduced. So let's get a quick scroll through that. Silent Hill 2's remake is going to be hitting
Nice.
PS5 and Steam in October. I know you're a fan of this series.
Especially Silent Hill 2.
Is this something that you're going to be checking out?
Don't have a PlayStation.
Well, PS5 and Steam.
Probably gonna check it out.
Okay.
But I haven't even played the Resident Evil 4 remake yet. I haven't. I haven't touched it.
I think that sounds like a great way to revive Survival Horror
Survival Horror
Sundays.
Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm for
that we
it.
should.
We need to bring it back. We've also got Astrobot on the PS5 in September. And this is like a sequel to Astro's Playroom, which was sort of the pack-in game with the PS5. It was actually really fun. It was really fun. God of War Ragnarok will be releasing on PC. It will require a PSN account to play, which seems pretty stupid, but there you go.
PlayStation gonna PlayStation.
It is what it is, I guess. I don't even know. Monster Hunter Wilds will be coming out from Capcom. It looks great. These Monster Hunter games always look so fun. And NetEase debuted a trailer for Marvel Rivals, and it's a 5 versus 5 hero shooter. It looks like reskinned Overwatch, basically.
And we need more of those.
Of course, plainly. Until Dawn
Hero
is
shooters.
getting a remake, which makes not a ton of sense. I feel like it doesn't need that much in the way of updates. It looked really good on PS4, but
Didn't even know it was
there
a
you go.
thing.
Yeah. And we're scrolling. Infinity Nikki is an open world dress up adventure game that will be launching on PS5 sometime soon. And
Is this a Shalene game?
actually no. Actually
Ah.
no. Yeah, I've tried some of the Nikki games in the past. They're mobile games and they're basically dress up games. And I just did not enjoy them at all. They were not at all
Not
my
enough
wheelhouse.
hats.
Yeah, plainly, not enough hats. So, and a new Dynasty Warriors game will be releasing in 2025. It's been a while since we've had Dynasty Warriors game.
You know, I've seen those. I had friends that were into them, but I just could not. Even though it was a Gundam one. I love Gundam. Just didn't really care for that.
They made a Legend of Zelda one, and I played some of that, and it was not terrible.
You know,
So,
it's funny because Sarah liked that game for a
it
little bit
was
too.
fun to play, and the cutscenes were fantastic. So
Is it too much to ask for like like an open world Gundam game, like Armored Core type?
I guess
I'd
it
play it
is.
for
You've
I'd,
wanted that for a long time.
I'd play it for at least 2 hours. At least. At least.
At least 2 hours. Well, I don't know how somebody isn't making it already. If you've promised to devote at least 2 hours. There is another hero shooter called Concord that is coming out, and let's see. That's about it. That's about it. So
Sure.
none of that is
Right.
super exciting to me.
No.
Remember when Xbox shut down all those studios that they recently acquired just recently?
Yeah.
One of them was Redfall's developer Arcane Austin.
Yeah.
Well, Redfall's final update has been made live to coincide with the closure of this studio.
It's so. It just. It just feels like just a fed up developer like here, and they just throw like the class the book, and they just walk out of the classroom, and they're like, I tried.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
They
jeez.
are adding a bunch of quality of life updates, including an offline mode. Now, I don't know what this means. Maybe you can tell me. DLSS3. Do you know what that means?
No.
No?
So Sound Freak has tried to explain to me what upscaling and DLSS stuff is, and
Okay.
nope. I just do
Ah,
recommended game settings and then let it
Jess
go.
says it's a graphics upres, which is pretty straightforward way to say it. Thank you, Jess. Um,
I have like a higher end monitor now, so like I don't
yeah.
upscale because I'm like, well, why would I? Because I'm just gonna play at my native resolution. What do I
Right.
need? So I don't know.
And they also added the ability to pause when you are playing single player, which is
A
super
revolutionary
super
feature in
valuable. I
gaming.
mean,
Pause.
if they hadn't added this, the game would have died a lot sooner. And now it'll be there for people to play for a while yet. So
I mean, I, I hate when people are like dead game. But this one kind of
I mean,
kind of is.
a little bit, a little bit.
It did not have a good launch. Let's great content. It had great content as far as some of the most wacky stuff. Like it felt like a comedy game. And I liked watching people stream it because you never knew what shenaniganry they were going to get into and what the vampires were going to get stuck on and you know, but I felt bad for the developers too.
Sulior is asking some questions. They did add another map. It's the Elder Nest, which is a boss-focused nest that tasks players with destroying dangerously modified special vampires.
End game.
I don't see any information here about additional characters, but it's possible that I've just missed that.
Helene, I think we need to have a discussion. We need a sidebar,
Okay.
if you will. The folks at home can't see this, but I can see your internet browser,
Can you? Yes.
and I have a hard time with you not using dark mode
Oh,
like a
okay.
normal human being.
Is there dark mode on Chrome now?
Always has been.
Has there always been? How
It
do we do
just
this? Okay, we're in
I
the
don't know how to do it. It's just done
okay.
online. I just
Customize your Chrome profile.
I don't know how you've lived.
Pick a theme color.
I don't think that's how you do it.
That's not it.
I don't think so. I
Uh,
mean, at some point, dark mode should just be the standard mode of
I
everything.
agree. I agree with that.
I don't know how you have not been blinded yet.
I mean, I would rather have dark mode. I don't know how to do this, but I don't think we should do it live on the
No,
podcast.
I just
So,
felt that you
but
needed the
you are
guilt
correct.
trips.
I would rather have dark mode on. I use dark mode most of the time in most things, but
I just felt that you needed the guilt trip of the community as well as from me.
yes. Thank you for outing me as using light mode on Chrome. So, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Everybody is saying dark mode all the way. 100% dark mode forever.
It's the little things, really.
Yes. Alex says Zephyr uses light mode just to spite everyone.
Oh,
I
contrarian.
find that hilarious. I find that pretty funny. Microsoft's going to be putting Call of Duty on Game Pass.
So weird.
They will be available immediately to subscribers of Game Pass, and I mean, why wouldn't they? It makes perfect sense.
Does
Why
make
would
sense.
Why would you acquire Call of Duty and not put it on your
Hmm.
huge service? So and
What?
make your products more appealing. So
Yeah. What's frustrating though is the fact that it they still use skill-based matchmaking, and so all the new people that are going to come in that we could like mop up the floor with aren't going to be in our matches.
I
Sad
mean,
days.
not for them.
I know.
I would rather be paired with other sad noobs instead of with the people that are good at it.
Nah.
Do you play a lot of Call of Duty?
Not as much anymore.
Yeah.
Whenever I like playing with people more than I like playing by myself.
So they added like Cheech and Chong
They
skins
d-
into
they
Warzone,
did.
and I want to play that so badly. I can't even tell you.
Um,
Do I have
what's
to
your
pay to play that?
Yeah, those you do. Yeah,
Yeah?
those you do. I forget they added like the characters from The Boys. They added shoot, what's her face? Cardi B, I think, is in it.
Okay.
It's
Cardi B would be
really
hilarious.
it's really problematic and frustrating when you keep getting killed by a pink Cardi B. It's just like I can't
I love it.
I
I
can't
love
I
it. Oh my
it's like
gosh. That's
so like
amazing.
Screamer in the chat, he plays with a giant ducky head, like a big yellow
Makes
duck
sense to
head.
me.
So
I
that's
mean,
that's a fun one. Because Call
I
of
that
Duty
sounds like my kind of
has become
thing.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
By the way, have you guys talked about the Fortnite Fallout crossover?
No, we've been
Ooh.
saving Fallout news for Fallout shows,
Okay. All right, then I shall not mention.
but go ahead,
No, I
talk
was
about
just going
it.
to complain because like I saw like, like I saw like Battle Royale news and Fallout coming. I'm like, are they bringing back nuclear win? Oh, it's Fortnite.
I saw the promo image and was also really excited that we were going to get some kind of new Fallout thing, and it was
Yeah, me
Fortnite.
too.
And
And then I
I
turned
just
the
wanted
TV
to,
off.
yeah, I just wanted to throw my computer out the window. I installed Fortnite because I wanted to play the Alan Wake thing that they had added when Alan Wake 2 came out. And I ended up just like um, basically uninstalling the same day because it was so difficult just trying to play the game. It made me feel like a very old person.
It's
It
too
was a
much.
bad time.
I can't build and shoot. Nope.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're too old. Hey,
too old.
do you want to talk about stocks?
I do.
I don't have the stock bumper. Okay, there it is.
Hmm. So, what's this is looks different than we used to do it.
Okay, it's not different though. The stocks are based on the last time we did a show. I don't remember when that was. Um, maybe 3 weeks ago. I have
Okay.
no idea. So previous week is the last show. Current week is the current as of today
Oh, I see.
in
Do you
American
say
dollars.
Okay, so Sony sits currently. I'm just gonna do the current ones.
Yeah.
So Sony sits currently at $81.78. That is up. No, down. It is down. Should color code these. Microsoft is also down $14. It's sitting at $405.96. Nintendo is down as well to $13.05. Take Two is up to and it closed out at $159.12. It's up by 11.28. EA is up by a buck 77 to 129.52.
Okay, I got the last two color coded for you.
Thank you. 10 Cent is down by $4.78, settling at $46.30. And Roblox Corp, that's publicly traded now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we are. That is up by 26 cents, ending out at $33.16.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but something that we had on the list got bought by one of the other ones. Activision, I think. So we had to add something new to the list.
Oh yeah, who'd they get bought? Oh, Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah, they bought everything. Just they're a black hole hoovering up all the studios. So
Yeah. When are they going to get a class action lawsuit on them? Because it's gotta be soon.
well, they did get sued by like all the regulatory agencies, but they won.
They
so
won? No, they
did.
got that
Yeah.
Bill Gates money.
You've got mail.
What we do?
Do we?
Well, let's check it out.
Read it.
All right. Let me find it. Mail stack. And that is how you would send us mail. You could email it to us at info@wejustlovegames.com. Or you can post it in the mail stack channel of our Discord, just like Frankel's Kanina did. And Frankie says, I have an actual genuine mail stack question that has impact. I joined the World Science Fiction Convention, and so I get to vote for things this year. This is where WJLG Lovely Community comes in. I have not played the nominated games, hides. And so I ask you, the most discerning and knowledgeable, for your opinions and ultimately to help me decide what to vote for. And the nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Chants of Sennaar, Dredge, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
But what are they winning?
They'll be winning the video game category at Worldcon.
Oh. So like the best video game out of all those?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So.
Probably. I mean, I would say Baldur's Gate.
I feel like it's got to be Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. I mean, Survivor was not a good. I mean, it was fine.
Baldur's Gate was our choice for Gamestack's Game of the Year stack awards. So.
I mean, I know. Yeah, like Joshua points out, like Star Wars Jedi Survivor just doesn't run really well on computer. And in fact, that's why I've been holding off on Dragon's Dogma 2. I really want to play that game, but it's not optimized for PC. So I just feel like Baldur's Gate would probably have to be the one. And to be fair, I haven't played any of these either, except for Survivor. So.
Yeah, I've only played Tears of the Kingdom, so.
And I feel like that was
really
innovative.
Good. It was very good, but I can't imagine stacking it up against Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. I mean, the new mechanics are really cool, but
very fun. But it is.
Not
it's not Baldur's Gate 3. You know, it's. I really think that's got to be your choice. We do have a bit of commentary from RTZ. It's pretty lengthy, and one from J-Star. So I don't think I'm going to read through those because we've already run a little bit long. But you can definitely pop into
sure.
Discord. Check those out. What do you think, Rick? What are you thinking about?
No, I'm saying Baldur's Gate 3. That's $10.
Yeah.
Was I supposed to say something else?
No.
Okay.
Kind of lost the plot halfway through there. I'm not used to being the host part.
I mean, you know, I didn't play. I don't know.
I'm not good at this anymore.
Yes, you are.
Let's talk about what the people are playing. That's one of my favorite bumpers ever. And this is also one of my favorite segments of the podcast. We have the screenshots and stories. And this was put together rather hurriedly, so I do apologize if I missed anybody. Like I said, I'm not used to doing this. So the first one we have here is from Alex, and this is, I believe, a World of Warcraft. She says, my hat is fabulous, and yes, it is. She's playing like a Finnick Fox type character,
Nice.
and wearing a fabulous top hat and some really great earrings.
Nice.
And we've got a couple of Star Citizen screenshots from Satyr, who says the most participation in the most complete gameplay loop in Star Citizen, taking pictures and testing new features. In this case, water physics. As a side note, when flying a ship fast and low, looking at it from the side is not optimal for control, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, this game is...
it's like...
I don't know why they haven't released it yet. And they've made so much money.
So much money. But the screenshots that Satyr sends always look
beautiful.
Incredible.
The game looks fantastic. Oh,
but
wow.
There's not that much game to it yet, you know? there's just not.
I don't get it.
But it is gorgeous. And thank you for continuing to send us updates.
Are they kind of strike me as like the Tesla of the gaming developer?
The Emperor has no clothes. It's
a little musky kind of feeling to this game, and its developers a little bit.
Indeed. And this one is from Gauss, who says Shadows of Doubt procedurally generated this bar called Fetus, spelled Fetu apostrophe S. But the neon sign can't punctuate, so this is the fetus bar. It's yeah.
I love it. I love it so much.
This is pretty silly. Pretty silly. Here is another one from Alex. Do you think our disguises are convincing? And I don't even understand what's happening here. Are they wearing like orc masks?
I think so, but
yes.
Boy, their armor is
they're wearing
protective.
Bikini tops and
armor.
orc masks, and it's a
vibe.
thing. Sure,
it
is a vibe. It is a whole vibe. Yes. And here they are in Murloc outfits, and they look really cute in these. these. I love the Murloc outfits. Big fan. And Alex's even has the little a little Murloc backpack. Little Murloc pet. It's very cute. And this one was one of several screenshots from RTZ, who says, a little game I wanted to mention that I'm currently really enjoying is called Crosscode. It's a 2D action-adventure, a single-player game that takes place in an MMO. Of course, it's breaking the fourth wall constantly. You're joining the MMO world as Leah, who lost her memory and for some reason cannot log off. Your companions occasionally talk about the outside world and miss deadlines because of playing too long last night. But as your communication module is broken, conversations are difficult as you are restricted to specific words until your IT friend fixes or adds words to your vocabulary.
Interesting concept.
Very. And
I
this
like that, though.
screenshot shows the character saying, but no, I play games, so I must be a child and irresponsible. Man, I was so pissed.
That's funny.
And this one is from Taz. It is a very large field of sunflowers from Farming Simulator. And this delights me. He posts these every now and again when he plants a field of sunflowers, and it always just makes my day.
I genuinely miss watching vendor stream Farm Sim.
His Farm Sim streams were the most
Loved it.
relaxing thing.
Absolutely loved it.
He made
Okay.
combines for WJLG Farm and Ranch
Nice.
with an American flag on one of them and a Canadian flag on the other, which I think is pretty darn cute.
That's good.
And this one I think is from VOD. Yeah, this is from VOD Knockers. And he started a new playthrough in Fallout 4. This is not a Fallout 4 screenshot. He also
No.
has been playing Fallout 76 with a friend, and they jumped on after the Fallout TV show, and ran through his friend's first nuke silo and completed the
Nice.
first Scorch Beast Queen fight. So that looks like a fun time.
Pinnacle moment in that game. That is a pinnacle moment in that game.
This one's from Moxie, who's been playing Little Kitty Big City, and she posted several really cute screenshots. The cat has special napping places, and that they're so cute.
Little Kitty Big City.
Little Kitty Big City.
My
He's
goodness.
wearing a banana hat. Look at him. Look at his little
see it.
banana hat. I love it so much. And this one is another WoW screenshot from Alex. She has a baby Murloc, and he hides in his egg when she's in battle. Is that not the cutest thing ever?
That is pretty adorable.
You can see the eyes peeking out of the little egg on her back. I can't. It's so cute. And this one is from Zephyr, who says, what happened here? I think
have
this
seen
one's...
that.
Is this 4 or 76?
That's
I don't
4.
remember.
That's
Is this
4.
one 4?
Yeah.
There is a skull in the urinal, and there's a skeleton kissing that skull. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a thing
I
that
remember
happened.
stumbling on that and like, okay, then, okay.
That sure is Fallout.
Yeah.
And this one is Kern Jess,
76.
who did the wedding event, the Tunnel of Love, and built a Miss Lovely out of bits and pieces. So I love the
Wow.
wedding. Have you played this event?
I have not.
It is so cute. You get to host a little wedding for a Mr. Handy. You build him this Miss Lovely out of spare
really?
parts, and
Oh
you have an
my.
actual wedding. You celebrate at the wedding. It's fabulous. It's one of my favorite things ever.
76 does events really well, gotta say. They do.
I love that event. So that wraps up the screenshots and stories. And Rick, how could someone share screenshots and stories with us?
I believe you can go to the Discord and drop them there. You can find our Discord link below, or just email us or contact Shalene or Vendertron. That's one way to do it. Or you could email your screenshots and stories to us at info@wejustlovegames.com.
Thank you so much. And now that we have been through what the community is playing, let's talk about what we're playing. Do you want to start? Alex
Sure.
mentions the challenge of bugs in the comments, and I'm sorry I didn't put those in. Sorry.
The what?
The last Gamestack challenge was bugs, and it could
Oh.
be like actual bugs, like it could be Cazador, or it could be like bugs. As in, is that a bug or a feature?
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so I haven't been playing too much. I have been playing V Rising, like I mentioned, and it is a isometric top-down view, Diablo kind of, and you're a vampire, and the humans have taken over everything, and you need to
And
take
you go to
control back from the
therapy?
humans. You do not go to therapy. In fact, you just murder kill your way through humans that tend to just respawn all the time.
Maybe you
And
wouldn't have to do
so
that if you went to therapy.
you can't quench the thirst for blood, Shalene. You just can't do it. So they either got to strike a deal or just get ready to be bitten. And in fact, that's one of the game mechanics. You have a blood pool that you use to heal yourself and use your
Oh,
blood powers.
interesting.
And it's constantly depleting, right? Not fast, but it does deplete. But what's really cool about it is every creature, be it human or monster, has a blood type if it is alive. Undead creatures
Like,
obviously don't.
be positive.
Well, think of like warrior or thief or creature. And a
Okay.
percentage. The higher the percentage, the more pure the blood is, and the more of boons it gives you. So you can find like a 90% warrior blood, drink his blood, and you have like really good stats for just a limited amount of time until it depletes, and then you're like looking around and you're like, I'll take that 1% deer and just, you know, and just at least have some blood. And so it was really interesting. It's a really interesting concept, and it's pretty cool how they have it set up. And eventually you can get it to where you can keep prisoners and draw their blood and keep them
Ooh, that's
alive.
that's pretty dark.
It's kind of dark, yeah. And so, but the way the progression is set up is you can kill everything you want, but you never level up from that. The only way that you level up, the only way that you level up is through your gear. It's a gear level based system. And so, as you beat bosses, there are things called bosses that have V blood, and they give you access to spells and different abilities. They also give you access to new technologies like a tailoring bench or a smelter. And so you go out and you gather materials, you come back and you craft your new gear. And so the only way to really progress the game is to beat the bosses. But they have it set out enough to where by the time you play the game for a while, you've to get the next bit of gear, you're now like ready to take on the new boss. You know what I mean? They have it really well done. And me and my wife and some friends have a little server we have, and we've gotten up to where we've beat the first active of bosses, and they range from like a wolf that you can turn into a wolf from then on, and a rat, you can kill a rat, or there's like a couple of vampire hunters, you know, and the different areas of the world
Sounds
map.
really fun.
It is a lot of fun. The different areas of the world map have different levels of creatures. So you wander into one, and then you see just a skull next to their name, and you're like, "Oh, I'm not going to go there." And then what's funny though is sometimes you'll be in like the first little main area, you know, and you're like looking around for your boss. You find it, but there just so happens to be a really high level boss that crosses paths with you too. So like you have to kind of be careful when you start to fight bosses. And there's a lot of cool mechanics in the game, like you can't be out during the daytime. It burns you eventually and kills you pretty quick. And so like you have to like stay in the shadow or like the shade kind of thing. And it's like it's an isometric game that I can actually handle.
Oh,
It's fun.
really? I didn't realize it was isometric.
Yeah, like I said Doom, not Doom. Diablo. It's like Diablo.
Ah, okay.
Um and so it's a lot of fun. You get different weapons and stuff, and there's only 2 spell slots, which is kind of weird because there's a lot of different spells. So you get like 2 spell slots and 1 special ability, and it's like that's kind of limiting. And then your dodge takes 5 seconds to recharge, which is
Ooh.
kind of heavy. Yeah. So like
You gotta be strategic with that. No spamming the dodge.
no, yeah, it's definitely not a Souls thing where you just roll, 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 roll. But I felt bad for there's a coworker at work, and they came to me. They're like, when I first started playing V Rising, I was, you know, I thought like there's like 3 bosses, or like there's 1 to 3 bosses in like every tier for like level, and they're like, I thought you pick one.
Mm.
And so I'm trying to beat these like really high-end bosses. And just dying and dying and dying. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Yikes.
And my friends were like, hey, you you beat all the ones in the tier before you go up. And they're like, oh, they spent like a whole morning trying to just beat these really high-level bosses, thinking that's what they needed to do. So I felt
I
bad.
can understand that.
Yeah. And to console them, I maybe told them about your story with Destiny 2 and not seeing the mini map till the very end of the game. They did not feel so bad after that.
I was like, why isn't there a map? Why can't I
Like-
just find you on the map?
It's the top right.
It's right there the whole time.
But the game that I've had the most fun with. So, Sound Freak was talking to me at work the other day, and he's like, you've gotta get content warning. Gotta check this game out. It's so cool. It's so awesome. It's like $6. It's like super cool, fun. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not in the mood to play anything. And I was hemming and hawing, and I put it off for a few days. And then like last night I broke down. I was like, fine, I'll buy it and install it. And it's like a gig. It's $8.
Yeah.
It's a gig. And the whole concept is there's this underground world where it's a bunch of scary monsters. And one of you is a camera with limited film, like video camera. And you film at different intervals, and your goal is to try to make a viral video that you upload to SpookTube.
Oh, okay.
And you try to get views. SpookTube is in the game, so it's not actually trying to get real views.
That sounds so fun.
But it's in the game, and your face is 3 characters. You get to type in any 3 characters and rotate it anyway. And so it can be any number of naughty things. And as you progress, you can buy emotes, you can buy soundboards, you can buy a boom mic, and the whole thing is based off proximity chat.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When you get done filming, you have to get back to your shuttle to get up to the normal world to get the footage out. And then when you all sit down on a couch to watch it together, and it's just a supercut of everything you recorded. You know what I mean? So like, because you don't record the whole time because you have very limited film.
Right.
You don't record the whole time. It's just sporadic and obviously like fast edit. Like if you're good, you can edit fast and like there's luck involved because like just moments that happen are hilarious. And so when you play with friends that you know, it's so ridiculous because it is a horror game in the sense that like there's these creepy monsters. Like one of them is like a blender with the 2 little blender things
No.
that charges at you. There's like a weird snail thing, and like one thing just threw bombs at us, and like sometimes you really can't even see them because it's dark, and if you lose your flashlight because you're panicking trying to, and then
Right.
you can't see them, and so all the while you have a camera that you can like film forward, film selfie, or like you can, if you die with it and it's recording, it just drops on the ground and it's still recording and somebody has to go get it.
This sounds like a very silly time.
And it was I laughed the hardest at that game that I have in a long time. And like my Sarah last night, she had to like turn on music in the bedroom because I was being so loud. But I was having such a fun time, and it's worth checking. If you have a group of friends and you like to play silly games together, it's super cheap, super simple mechanics, but a very genius concept.
That sounds really fun.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing, and I'm excited to play it tonight some more. Hopefully. So,
Nice.
What have you been playing, Shalene?
I've been playing a ton of Fallout 76 lately. It's Meat Week. It's been Meat Week. It's Meat Fortnight, actually, because we have 2 weeks of Meat Week. And I'm sorry, I just blanked there. But I've been working on Meat Week and getting getting all the new plans. I think I only lack 2 of the new plans. So, they also added several single-player quests with the latest round of Atlantic City content. So I've been playing through those, and I've really enjoyed them. They were actually really, really fun. I really like some of the new characters that were introduced, and I think it really adds some depth to the, what are they called? Expeditions? To the expeditions that you do there, because
Yeah.
it gives you some background information on who these factions are. You know, who are the family, who are the showmen, why are they the way they are, and that's been fun. I don't know if you heard this news, Rick, but a couple of months ago, I deleted my camp on accident. I don't know why there's no undo button, but I okay. I made Rick laugh so hard that he's now coughing to death. I did accidentally delete my camp. So I rebuilt it recently, and I really like my new camp. I used the Pittsburgh Palace prefab, and I also found this really amazing little lizard terrarium in the build menu. So I have a little lizard friend now, and you tap on the glass, and he runs out from his little soup can to say hi.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that.
It's
so adorable.
so cute. And Jess taught me that I could put little toys in there. So I put one of the little Mr. Handy robots in there, and a little tiny army jeep in there. So now he has some little toys in his enclosure, and it's just so cute, and it made me so happy. But I am really, really upset about the new scoreboard. I hit rank 100 on the scoreboard, and I was like, yes, I am done. Scorecation for me. But I'm not done, because you have to actually reach rank 150 to be able to afford all the things that are on the scoreboard. You unlock access to them at rank 100, but now you have to rank to 150 to be able to get enough tickets to earn all this stuff. And I didn't realize that was the case.
Sucks.
And I am so mad about it. Like, somebody get the Bethintern in here now. I need a word. I was livid. I was really upset about it. Yeah, so Archons had to hear a lot of complaining about that.
That sucks.
I feel like the reason that they revamped it was because it was repetitive and people were getting bored with it. So what did they do? Make it where you have to do it for twice as long. Let's do that. That's great. That's amazing. I'm just so mad about it. So also I sort of played 7 Days to Die.
Sort of?
Sort of, yeah. So Archon plays 7 Days to Die on the regular with Tim, Twig, and some other friends.
I'll bet you that's fun with Tim.
Yeah, Tim's got a server, and they play usually on Thursday evenings, and they have the best time. And a Thursday or so ago, Archon had ordered us some dinner, and their delivery guy was out, so he had to go pick up the dinner. But zombie night had already started. So he sat me in his chair and put the headset on me. And there I was, playing 7 Days to Die. And this man has his mouse sensitivity turned up all the way. He doesn't even move his hand to do the mouse. It's just he thinks a thought, and it sends microscopic vibrations through the mouse, and that's how he controls. It was ridiculous. So I was... I think I may keep my mouse sensitivity below average. I think I have it unusually low. So the adjustment of going from what I'm used to his mouse was just so dumb. It was so dumb. And I was trying to look around, and Tim's just trying to show me stuff, and I was just flying about, and I was doing okay. I had gotten it where I could walk around and kind of function, but then a zombie would attack, and I would panic and just start spinning in circles. And thank goodness Tim didn't go too far, and he was watching my back, so I didn't get Archon's character murdered and eaten by zombies. But
that's funny.
Really, after it was 15 minutes in the server that I spent, and I understand the appeal now. I understand why people play this game. It is a lot like Minecraft, and I it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I absolutely, from watching over his shoulder, I really didn't see the appeal, but having spent even just that small amount of time playing, I do now. I get it. I get it. I understand why they do. So
You gonna keep doing it?
probably not. No. Um,
Okay.
I mean, when he does Zombie Night is usually when we do Animal Crossing Night or something like that. So
Gotcha.
I also, and this one's for 4 Mile, who I don't think is in chat this time. I opened my Ring Fit Adventure for my
that?
Switch.
What is
It's
that?
like the exercise game for Switch, like the Switch
Oh.
answer to Wii Sports or Wii
Gotcha.
Fit, which I had purchased like 4 years ago, and it just sat in its box all this time. And I opened it, and it's actually really fun. Yeah, you can play as a little adventure mode, and it gives you a little storyline, and you go through different levels, and you're exercising, but you're also doing like a mini RPG. And your antagonist is this big scary dragon who is simultaneously a swole gym bro. It's like this dragon wearing like a little like a muscle, like a bodybuilding unitard. It's so funny. It's so good. It's so good. And I really enjoyed it. I feel like it has a lot more interactivity than Wii Fit did. The running, like when you run, and on Wii Fit it was just like a thing. You just but now you can interact with some of the scenery and background, and it reminds me a little bit of playing Crash Bandicoot. So
Oh, that makes sense.
yeah, it was really fun. And that's really about it. I have had a lot of problems still with my stupid computer doing the regular blue screens.
That
I'm
sucks.
super stoked that it has not blue screened in the middle of podcast yet. So that's limited some of my gaming. So that's really it. That's all I've
It's
had.
been going on for a while too, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been going on for years. Yeah, and it's just been getting worse though. I think throwing it down the stairs may have had something to do with that. I mean,
God, you did that.
for those of you who don't remember, I
Kabonk,
also
kabonk,
threw
kabonk.
myself down the stairs after it, so it was an act of
Dedication.
clumsiness and not an act of rage. Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, I think that's a show, Rick. It was
think
really
that is a
fun
show.
having you back.
It's good to be back.
You should do some more game stacks.
I will
It's
try.
fun times. Yeah.
Fridays are crazy sometimes. Today, I mean, we got lucky today. We had like emails come in at like 6, 7 last night of like, hey, here's a pop-up gig, here's another pop-up gig, and here's a emergency console we need to ship right away. So like I was kind of nervous going in this morning. I'm like, oh crap, it's gonna be one of these Fridays, and it turned out not to be too bad. Got out at a decent time. So
That's good.
just
I'm glad
Fridays, never know.
that you were able to join us.
Me too.
Do you have anything you want to plug?
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
nothing at all.
neither. Don't forget to check out our other show, That Fallout Show, available wherever fine podcasts are given away. And you can also check out Oak and Crow Coffee to buy a bag of We Just Love coffee. You can send us email to info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com. Find us on the platform formerly known as Twitter, @WeJustLoveGames. I am Shalene L, SHALINEL. Vendortron is at VendortronN, and Rick disdains social media.
Yes.
Find us on Facebook at
On
facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames. Are you on Instagram? You are on Instagram. You send me
Yeah.
an Instagram.
I'm pretty
What's your
active on
Instagram
Instagram.
handle?
I think it's at Rick McVick.
At Rick McVick? Okay.
Maybe.
It's probably at Rick McVick. I
No,
think I'm...
at the Rick McVick.
At
I'm
the
in a
Rick
stupid.
McVick. Oh,
I'm in a
okay.
stupid bin. That's my profile picture.
You're the Rick McVick. Good to
Well,
know.
it's because I have another one that has the cat on the profile
Yes.
picture that I don't use anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Join the Discord
Alright,
and
amazing.
join us for live recording on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. We record at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Find the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, wherever podcasts are given away. Like, subscribe, review the show. All that stuff helps us find a new audience. Thank you so much for listening. And Rick, do you have a last word?
No, I know.
We'll try not to pee on any more haunted houses, okay?